I'm JT for those that don't know me, and for those that have been following the Leaders in Crisis series. I want to thank you for your comments, and I'm glad that you are finding value in this because you have a leader within, and it's up to you to unleash her or him. Let them out because you matter. And before I get off the subject, let's get on point to episode number 8, and it is going on the offense and winning. We realized last week that we weren't going to let any crisis go without learning the lesson. So now that we've learned the lesson that the crisis that just recently passed, we head out now making sure that we don't run into those. We recognize and remember the symptoms. We got deep down and dug at the root and cut it out. So we should not have to revisit that again. And if we do, because you never know how life, as they say, historical cycles repeat themselves every 7 years. If you find yourself back in a situation somewhat the same, it won't be as overwhelming or frustrating because you've already been there and you know what steps to execute to make sure that you'll be okay. And so you might say, well, how can I focus on actually winning and I'm in the middle of crisis, right? I want to give you 7 steps. Number 1, you have to really rethink your whole industry strategy. Let's rethink how you've been going about your business. Maybe you've been online. Maybe it's time for you to see what happens offline. Rethink your strategy. Then second, you've got to shed all of your weaknesses, right? And if you realize that, you've done the test, on one side you wrote your weaknesses down, the other side you wrote your strengths, those weaknesses, you are addressing them. You're going to YouTube University to build character. You've reached out for a mentor. You're attending events. You're doing the best that you can do to actually correct those. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, you have to look at yourself in the mirror because you're responsible for you. You matter, right? And then the third step is you want to make sure that you allow the strengths that you've discovered during crisis, because I'm sure they just came up and you were like, ooh, I didn't know I could do that. Right. You develop character and strength during leadership, during crisis time. The word, if for those that are believers, is that when you're at your weakest, he's at his strongest. And so during that time of crisis, you discover various strengths. Go ahead and reshape those strengths and put them into action, put them into play. Those are leadership characters. Don't allow them to go back inside. Nourish them now that they're out. And then number 4, make those investments that are necessary in you. If it's reading an extra book, go into the library because you don't have funds to purchase. I used to say, well, I can't afford this. Well, you know what? If you look around Boo Boo, they're free. You can go to your local public library. If they don't have it, they can request it from another branch, and YouTube. I say YouTube. And then the 5th one is you want to stay focused on winning. Maybe it's not a great big milestone, but you woke up today. That's a win. You can hear me. So you must have the internet. That's another win. Celebrate the small achievements so that you really will appreciate that big one, because it surely is going to come. And then lastly, you want to develop a rigorous execution plan of how you're going to do this. So, wealth loves speed. So if you get an idea or you're shown something, move on it right away while it's fresh, and you can really penetrate and become a part of you, knit with who you are, so that you can carry that tool set without even thinking about it. So, okay, that's it for today. And I hope that you found value again in Leadership in Crisis series. And I want you to join me back here again tomorrow. And it is our last episode, rounding up in conclusion what we learned in how crisis is really your defining moment. All right, God bless you. You matter.